Mr. O'Toole.
Morning, how are you?
Good, good. Is the Liberal government doing enough to protect Canadians from Omicron?
Well, we'll have to see what their next update is. I haven't seen it yet, but we'll see. Good morning. Good morning. On va avoir des questions après.
Excuse me.
Diplomatic boycott that you guys are calling for.
Before we get to that, I mean, the obvious issue is that we got 30-year-olds who can't move out of their parents' basements. We've got house prices that are the second highest and most inflated in the world relative to incomes. This is the second biggest housing bubble on planet Earth. I've now asked Chrystia Freeland, whose financial policies are responsible for inflating housing and everything else, whether we have a bubble, and she won't answer the question. That's the number one issue for Canada's youth right now, driving the gap between rich and poor, between millionaire mansion owner and working class renter. And furthermore, Freeland's setting us up for a massive housing crash that could be on the scale of what we saw in the United States in 08-09. The time is now to stop printing money and start building houses.
Parce que vous avez demandé à ce que le gouvernement canadien fasse plus. Là, il en a fait plus. Donc, qu'est-ce que vous reprochez de ça?
Ben écoutez, c'est l'improvisation. Il semble que le gouvernement a été rapide juste à une chose, c'est annoncer qu'il y aurait des mesures, mais sans s'assurer que ni les services frontaliers, ni les aéroports, ni les provinces étaient prêts à justement les appliquer, ces mesures-là. Une semaine après, c'est encore le cafouillage total dans les aéroports, à les frontières, avec l'application Arrive-Can. Il y a encore des Canadiens qui ont beaucoup de difficultés avec cette application-là. Donc, ce qu'on demande au gouvernement, c'est pas compliqué. Vous annoncez quelque chose, faites-les marcher, prenez les bonnes mesures et faites en sorte que les Canadiens ne soient pas pénalisés injustement à cause de ces mesures-là.
Pfizer dit que son vaccin est efficace contre le variant Omicron à la troisième dose. Est-ce que dans ce contexte-là, c'est le temps de revoir la stratégie, les nouvelles mesures, les hôtels de quarantaine, c'est le temps de scraper ça pour un autre appel?
Bien, je pense qu'il va falloir se fier à ce que les experts vont avoir à dire en ce moment. On apprend ces informations-là comme vous. Donc, il y a des scientifiques qui, justement, analysent ça. On attend leurs recommandations. Merci. Autrement que j'y aille, désolé. La prochaine fois.
Peut-être en septembre.
Are calling for the diplomatic boycott of the Olympics. What do you think that will accomplish?
On this issue, I don't. I will let other people talk about it. Okay, because you're talking. What is exactly your question?
The diplomatic boycott of Canadian officials going to the Beijing Olympics.
Yeah.
Something that the United States is doing, something that the Conservatives are calling for. Why do you think that this will be sufficient when there's a genocide going on right now?
Well, we know that we have to talk about it in our caucus to know exactly where we are. Obviously, we always, as a Canadian, we always think about our athletes, those people who work so hard for many years to accomplish to accomplish something great at the precise moment. So for sure, our thing and our talk are with the athletes. So that will be my comment
for
now.
Comment on C4 passing the Senate yesterday. There was a lot of concern that would be held up in the Senate.
You're talking about the C4?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Because I have heard C3, so I was a little bit surprised.
C4.
Well, as you know, last week we had our decision on that. We made our decision, we had our discussion with the caucus, and we had the discussion that was accomplished. The result of this discussion was a call made for a UC motion in the House of Commons, and everybody was supportive of that UC motion, and that is a strong signal that people are united behind the leader, and we work as a team, and we have seen the Senate doing exactly the same thing. As you know, the House of Commons and the Senate are different two bodies. The Senate have their own agenda, have their own policy, how to address some policies, so they are free to act as they want, but they have followed our footsteps, and we're very proud of that.
Est-ce que vous étiez au courant que le Sénat allait justement faire la même manœuvre que vous à la Chambre des communes?
Un peu comme je le disais tantôt en anglais, le Sénat est autonome. Alors le Sénat agit selon ses préoccupations, selon son agenda politique, selon son agenda parlementaire au Sénat, comme nous à la Chambre des communes, faisons du même. Évidemment, on a des points de vue qui sont toujours bien convergents, on comprend ça, mais ce sont les sénateurs qui sont libres de leur choix et de leur attitude. Sous le leadership du sénateur Léo Sakos, on a vu qu'hier, ils ont procédé à peu de choses près exactement comme nous l'avions fait. Et on est très heureux parce que c'est un enjeu qui est maintenant derrière nous. Le Sénat a fait ce qu'il devait faire, c'est-à-dire procéder rapidement pour que l'on puisse régler les problèmes qui touchent directement tous les Canadiens, comme par exemple le coût de la vie, comme par exemple le manque de main-d'œuvre et des enjeux semblables.
Are you advising anybody in caucus to change their travel plans because of the new variant over Christmas?
Well, the rules are the same for everybody. Be careful. Be careful when you have to travel. Be careful when you are in public, and be careful wherever you are and whatever you do. So obviously, we have some concern with that. But you know, Christmas time is coming, so yes, people have to travel to go back to see their family and all that stuff. But our recommendation is the same for every Canadian. Be careful of what you're doing.
Why are there 4 of your MPs who have not been in the House of Commons since the new measure came in around checking their medical exemptions?
Okay, well, as you know, we all respect the rules, and the rules has been established, and the rules are following by each and every members.
What was your reaction to the story in the Globe and Mail this week about allegations related to Shannon Stubbs?
Well, that is a personal matter, the personal issue, and I let the process running on.
Pour les exemptions médicales, en français, rapidement, est-ce que vous attendez à ce que vos collègues reviennent en personne à la Chambre des communes? Est-ce que vous espérez que les exemptions...
Toutes les questions relatives à la question de la vaccination, nous suivons les règles. Nous les avons toujours suivies, nous allons continuer à les suivre. Tous les députés conservateurs suivent rigoureusement les règles. C'est ce qui a été fait dès le départ, c'est ce que nous faisons maintenant, c'est ce que nous allons faire toujours devant.
Qu'est-ce que vous répondez à Mark Carlin qui doute des exemptions de vos collègues?
J'ai déjà eu à répondre à Marc à cet effet-là. Nous, on ne doute pas de personne. Nous, on fait confiance aux gens qui respectent les règles et tous nos députés respectent les règles. Et c'est mon défi de trouver qui que ce soit qui ne respecte pas les règles, qui n'a pas respecté les règles. M. Holland devrait se concentrer davantage sur le travail parlementaire que de faire des projections ou que son imagination le conduise à ce type de réflexion-là n'est pas sain pour personne. Nous avons toujours suivi les règles, nous suivons les règles et nous allons toujours suivre les règles. Merci bien.
When it comes to the boycott that you're calling for the Olympics, diplomatically, we're hearing that the government is going to announce something today on that. Why do you think a diplomatic boycott is enough?
Well, at this stage, a year ago, we called for democratic countries to work at relocating the games, moving them, and even maybe offering Canada to be part of that. There was no traction with Mr. Trudeau. So I hope today he follows the lead of the Conservative opposition and some of our allies, calling for a diplomatic boycott. That way the athletes still get to compete and show our pride in their hard work and perseverance, but we should not send a message that we accept treatment of the Uyghurs, we accept the situation in Hong Kong. So at this stage, a diplomatic boycott is appropriate.
Do you think some athletes would understand, though, if Canada pulled out altogether, considering that there is a genocide going on?
I know that athletes and athlete organizations are very concerned about genocide for the Uyghurs and many of the foreign affairs challenges with China. But I reached out over the last 8 months to Olympic organizers, athlete organizations, and no one wants to make the athlete suffer, particularly after several years of work. So a diplomatic boycott is appropriate, and continued pressure. And the Prime Minister, he's years late on a Huawei decision. He needs to start getting serious on China.
Thank you.
Let me just ask you about C4 and the passage of it in the Senate yesterday. I'm very happy to see that. I'm glad
took an approach of moving quickly and unanimity like we did in the Commons. So I want to thank you.
Does this signal that the party is moving away from some of these socially conservative issues to focus more on pocketbook issues?
Well, the big thing we hear across the country is the cost of living crisis, the housing crisis, the opioid crisis. And I'll tell you, we're putting forward ideas to make sure that we can, make life more affordable, make sure people have their voice heard in Parliament. So we're going to be talking a lot about the cost of living crisis as this session wraps up, and encouraging people to support their community food banks because there's a lot of people suffering out there. Thank you very much. Take care.